I didn't really have to think because I always considered it as the best advice for the last 30 years. It is just to listen to the patient's best wishes, do the best possible for the patient at all times. I was in call in Louisville, one night on call at Louisville, and Kevin Yakubov, I think Tony will know him. Kevin Yakubov and myself were on call. A lady with a fingertip amputation had been flown from Virginia for a possible replant. I was first on call, so I went and saw her in the ER. The amputation was just at the base of the nail. I didn't feel it was worth the struggle to replant. Okay, so I spoke to her very well, and she was very happy and happily agreed for a triangular fracture. In fact, she said, "Oh my God, I have taken a flight for all this." Okay, so agreed that. And then when you were just settling down, Harold client came in, and they said, "Hey guys, you used to talk nicely." I said, "What are you both doing now?" It was 2 a.m. in the morning. So Kevin told Harold, "This lady has been flown all the way from Virginia for a possible replant. Raja spoke to her in the ER and she's agreed for a triangular flap. Perhaps that's the most appropriate thing to do." So and our client had looked for a while and then a minute and then he said, "Did you examine the amputated part?" Okay, we had not. So Kevin said, "No, she has been consented for a closure." And so we did not. And then she said, "He just tapped on my back and said, 'You're all good boys, why didn't you try?'" So we went to the next room and then examined the amputated part. And we are good boys, you know. So we found the vessels and we proceeded to complete the replant. And almost near completion, Dr. Harold walked in back again. So we proudly thought we should tell him, "Oh, we did it." Then she smiled and said, of course he was not wearing a mask also, he said, "This lady has come all the way from Virginia thinking that Harold will put it back. Okay, you did not even try." Okay, but then that was one. The next word was even more hitting me on the head. He just said, "If I had not put all these things back when I was your age, I think you wouldn't have come here." I think it's a very sage advice. It's for the student, it's for the mentor, I think it's for everybody. So the advice in the lesson is, I think it's the lesson on empathy. I think what Scott was talking this morning on this thumbless to, when you make really thumbs, you have to really think what the patient thinks. And doing what is needed and not what you think is right or what you think is comfortable for you to do. I think that's it. So how has it helped? I think you can get a lot of advices, but then you must follow these advices. I'll give you an example. I can give you countless number of examples, but then I usually give this example and then tell the guys, tell our boys that we have to keep going. And how has the advice helped? So 10 years later, after I came back from Louisville, one night we received this. At the time, I was a single surgeon. This thing. So 5-finger replant, and we started by finger method. Now we do structure by structure. We started with the thumb, index, middle, like that was going on. So by 15 years, I had completed up to 15 hours. I completed up to ring. So all this time, Dr. Bhatt is a great anesthetist. He had done under block. And still, the block was effective, but the patient was restless because he was lying for a long time, and he was wriggling. And now we had time for GA. So the anesthetist asked me, "Sir, the little finger is near the DAP joint, just proximal to DAP joint. Do you think he's going to make a great difference functionally? You've done a great job in 4. Why do you want to risk? I think, can we stop here?" So I just remember the night on call at Louisville. I just thought, what would the patient want? You want all fingers, right? So I just told but we are just in the process of making history. All 5 fingers. Very rarely you get all 5 fingers get amputated in a single hand. You may get 4 in this, 4 in this, 3, 4 like that. If you have to get all 5 fingers cut in the amputated part, that means it has to cut at one particular level it has to cut. It's not easy to cut. Otherwise, you'll always have, between the fingers, you'll have some tissue in the band. Okay. So we worked for 2 more hours and all of them survived. And then we found that the little finger had the best of the function because it is distal to the PAP joint. It had the best of the function. So I never forgot that night. Every time you think it's difficult, and then you have to put the patients first. And then it is this advice, I think, which really made us push the indications for major replants. And we are told that, you are at a clean-cut amputations, it's fine. But in our experience, we found we never had a clean-cut major amputation. All of them were crushed avulsion amputations. So we devised techniques to understand systems, protocols to find how best we could do it. The same lady, you find how well she found, except that the figure is short. Otherwise, you will not even recognize that unless we put a picture of them together. Healed primarily, I think, and does it very well, and does all the things that she could do. So once doing this, and Hari was asked to talk about this about 15 days back in another meeting. He said he put 1991, SRS learned this lesson, then he put 2000, he put the 5-finger replant, and then he put another picture when he had to do in 2022. Okay, he put this picture, same lesson being again being enacted. So the question is, I think the best advice when you are thinking, when things are difficult, you have to really think, why don't you try? And then all of us have to think in our minds, do what is needed and what you think is easy or what is comfortable for you to do. Just that if it requires another vein graft, just sit back and then do the vein graft and go. I think that's the best advice that I should say that I ever got. Thank you so much.